If there's one thing that even casual comic fans know, it's that there's definitely one person in Marvel's lengthy canon that you'd never want to annoy, and that is the Incredible Hulk. Possessing strength that could even beat up that 6-year-old kid's dad who he kept saying could take on anyone on the playground, Bruce Banner's big buff boy counterpart could and has torn his way through most of the Marvel villains library and the occasional hero from time to time. And yet, thanks to the ever lovely and rather strange Marvel multiverse, there are an infinite number of hulking green giants, and some are even stranger than the one that we know, and, well, fear in all honesty. So let's take a look today at those that would make a Hulk family reunion one of the most chaotic and terrifying sights to behold. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 insane alternate versions of the Hulk you won't believe exist. Number 10. Skulk. Back in the 1990s, Marvel and DC decided to stop waging war with one another and work together on a project that would merge their favourite characters to create brand new ones, and did so under the banner, pun intended, of Amalgam Comics. Here on Earth-9602, we saw Bruce Banner merge with Solomon Grundy, turning Hulk to Skulk. Just as it happened in the Marvel Universe, Dr. Bruce Banner was experimenting with radiation, but when it all went horribly wrong, he didn't transform into a green monster filled with rage, and instead became fused with the elemental entity known as Solomon Grundy. While he could revert to his Dr. Banner form with the use of magic, Skulk was a powerhouse of ungodly proportions, and it was decided that he would work together with Dr. Strange Fate to keep him from turning into the grey-skinned beast. Number 9. Maestro. In the Future Imperfect mini-series, the Hulk, unsurprisingly given the title, heads to the future where he meets up with an older version of himself called Maestro. Unfortunately, Maestro hasn't exactly aged like a fine wine or anything of the sort, and has instead turned completely and utterly insane, and somehow is also ruler of the entire world. It turns out that Maestro massacred all of the world's superheroes, so there wasn't anyone alive on Earth who could actually stand up to him, at least not up until his past version came to his present and caught up with him with his fists. But what made Maestro truly frightening was that he had now lost his mind, and as such there was no limit on how angry he could become, and thus no upper limit on his actual strength. Nothing the Hulk threw at this future self did anything, and Maestro had no problem beating the absolute snot out of him. Luckily, the Hulk was able to trick Maestro into stepping inside Doctor Doom's time machine, which deposited him at the place and moment that the gamma bomb exploded that made the Hulk, killing Maestro in the process. Number 8. Old Man Hulk. After an apocalyptic event wiped out nearly all of the world's superheroes except for Wolverine and Banner, one went on a journey of self-discovery and the other, well, had sex with his cousin and had a load of inbred kids. Guess which one was Banner's story? Yes, that's right, he had a ton of kids, all of which were permanent Hulks, and even formed a gang of his offspring which he used to extort those around him. Also, here Banner eats people and he's grown to almost gigantic proportions. In the end, he transforms into the Hulk and eats Logan, but the old Canadian mutant didn't sit too well and he tears his way out, killing Hulk in the process. Number 7. Hulk 2099. When Marvel launched its 2099 series, the Hulk shifted from Bruce Banner to John Eisenhart. The origin of Eisenhart's transformation differed somewhat from Bruce Banner's a century before, but it was chaotically intertwined with the Hulk of the 20th century. In 2099, there existed a cult called the Knights of Banner, and their only real goal in life was to create a new Hulk for their own timeline. Eisenhart ended up joining the group and, as a member who wasn't too happy with his lot in life, ended up triggering a gamma explosion which served to fulfill the cult's goal and transformed the newbie into the Hulk. The 2099 version of the Hulk was vastly different from his 20th century counterpart in several ways. He wasn't a savage Hulk, which meant that his strength didn't grow exponentially when he became enraged. He also has what could only be described as a prehensile tongue, which extended several feet from his mouth. Additionally, his fingers were like claws that could tear through anything. And to top it all off, he had a lovely mane of hair. Number 6. Hulk: The End. Ever since the first moment that Bruce Banner transformed into the Hulk, he simply wanted to be left alone, and yet people never really seem to get that message. Well, in Hulk the End, the Green Giant finally got his wish, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as everyone else in the world is quite literally gone, leaving Hulk as the sole survivor of Earth. But that's not to say that there's no life on the planet, as this Hulk had to fight off mutated roaches and all manner of horrible beasties. But what's really interesting about this story is that it ends with Bruce Banner dying while the Hulk is still in control of their form. With the death of Banner, the Hulk comes to realize that he too would also die if he reverted to his Banner form. And with this realization, he understands that he is finally alone. And he states the final lines, "Hulk feels cold." Pretty bleak, right? Number 5. Immortal Hulk. The Immortal Hulk is what the Hulk became following a number of deaths and rebirths over the years. However, unlike his former iterations, he isn't in a big rush to emerge in a rage from Banner. He's content to wait it out, coming out only when the sun goes down, which actually mirrors how the Hulk originally manifested when the character was first introduced. Yet what's interesting about this version of the Hulk is that by all accounts, he is the strongest and most powerful version ever depicted up to and including Maestro. Therefore, what the Immortal Hulk is, in many ways, is the next step in the Hulk's evolution. He's smart, articulate, and quite possibly even more intelligent than Banner. He's even able to drive Banner's actions through gut feelings, meaning that Banner is becoming more and more secondary to the Beast. And, as if to demonstrate their new relationship, the Immortal Hulk let Banner be shot in the head and technically die before resurrecting him once night fell. Dark. Number 4. Infernal Hulk. In just about every depiction of the Hulk, he's tied to Bruce Banner and vice versa. Yet in one alternate reality, that wasn't the case, as Bruce and the Hulk were finally separated into two distinct bodies via magic due to the fact that this Bruce Banner was also the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. After separating himself from the Hulk, he banished the Green Giant to Hell, where he became corrupted by the demonic beings that he encountered there, and this corruption extended deep into the Hulk's psyche, so much so that he became a demon himself, devoid of anything good or virtuous, and with this he became the Infernal Hulk. When Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Bruce Banner traveled to his reality from Earth 616, the Infernal Hulk managed to escape from Hell and caused all manner of chaos. Together, the heroes managed to defeat the Infernal Hulk, but it required a reversal of the banishing spell that separated Banner and the Hulk in the first place, and things ended with the choice to, how do I put this? Snap Bruce's neck to stop the Infernal Hulk from ever taking control. Ouch. Number 3. Zombie Hulk. In Marvel Zombies, shock horror, the world is entirely populated with zombies, and of all of them, the Hulk's crossing over to the undead resulted in some truly terrifying outcomes. When he was in his zombie Hulk form, he ate an insanely large quantity of meat. When his hunger was finally satiated for a while, he reverted back into Bruce Banner, but there was one slight problem. When the zombie Banner emerged, his gut was filled beyond capacity with whatever the Hulk had ate, so it burst open in as disgusting a manner as it sounds. However, that is not the most disgusting version of the Hulk, because that honor goes to Number 2. Ruins. In Warren Ellison's two-part miniseries Ruins, the various mutations, accidents, and close encounters with radiation that turned people into superheroes as they did on Earth 616 did nothing of the sort here. In fact, it was much closer to what would actually happen to a human experiencing these moments, except, that is, for Bruce Banner, who got it much worse. In Ruins, Banner was working on a gamma bomb in the same manner as the normal continuity of the Marvel Universe, and he also went out to save a young Rick Jones from the blast. But instead of turning into the Hulk, he became something far darker, which was summed up by Rick Jones as a mass of cancer that was still alive. That's right, the Hulk in Ruins wasn't a superhero, and he wasn't an unstoppable force of destruction. He was a horribly disfigured amalgamation of tumors and destroyed skin. And number 1, Breaker of Worlds. One of the most powerful and yet strangest versions of the Hulk exists in an alternate reality dubbed Earth TRN781. In this reality, the One Below All, which is basically Marvel's expression of God, managed to destroy Bruce Banner's soul, leaving the Hulk's body readily available for possession. Soon after taking over the body of the Hulk, the One Below All kills some of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, including Galactus, Franklin Richards, and Mr. Immortal, to name but a few, all the while amassing more and more power. Finally, the one below all even managed to absorb the sentience of the cosmos itself, and then using its newfound power, created a being similar in size and scope to Galactus with the physical quantities of the Hulk. And this was dubbed the Breaker of Worlds. After 10 billion years, the Breaker of Worlds had destroyed all light, all life, and all planets in the multiverse, making good on its namesake. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 insane alternate versions of the Hulk that you won't believe exist. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, as well as any other choices that you might have added. If you want to chat to me further about all things to do with comic books, film, TV, whatever else, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon.